Here's the script. Anna, my late wife, died in a car accident. A person lost control of their car and ran her over, and she passed away immediately. We were both 26 at the time. It was 4 years ago, right before the pandemic. We were having a bad time as a couple. She was extremely jealous of me and also very protective of her phone. Shortly after her death, I found out I had an STD, and surprise, surprise, she was cheating on me. On the day she passed, a guy we went to college with and were kind of friends with sent her messages, asking for pictures of their last encounter. The way he talked, it seemed like it was recent, and it seemed that they talked often. I was able to get into her phone and laptop, as she didn't change her passwords, because she would always ask to check my phone, and I would ask for hers back. So I had the password. There wasn't much because she deleted everything or hid it very well, but the most recent messages, she obviously couldn't delete them, so everything that came after her death was still there. While looking for the pictures he asked for, I found pictures of her and him in a RAR, deep in a random place in her work folders, on her laptop. In one of them, she had short hair, which she only had right after we got engaged. So she was with him for at least 3 years out of our 6 years together. Also, I found pictures of 2 other guys, but I have no idea who they are, and there were no messages from either of them anywhere. I messaged the friend and told him that I knew, told him about the STD, and that I won't reveal it to anyone and want it to be kept a secret forever. I asked him if anyone else knew, and he said that his ex knew, but he would talk to her. I decided that for the sake of her parents and siblings, I would pretend she was a great person and let them have their beautiful memories with her. Anna's older brother Thomas is a good friend of mine to this day. I would even go as far as to say we are best friends. After 2 years of my wife's passing, I was ready to date again. Thomas said that he knew the perfect girl for me. He just wanted me to be sure I was ready for something serious before introducing each other. It was his sister-in-law, Laura. We knew each other only superficially, but never really talked before our first date. I fell for her quick and hard. We started dating, and about 3 months in, we were already telling each other I love yous, and I told her I was going to marry her. It has been a little less than 2 years. We are engaged, and I have never been this happy. I told her all about my relationship with Aina. I still have the evidence of what she did stored away on my computer just in case, and I showed it to Laura. She cried a little and comforted me, but I assured her I was fine, and that I was over it. The problem comes with Anna's family, especially her mom and sister. Ever since Anna's passing, every time they talk about her, people want to hear me talk. They ask me about her, try to include me in conversations about her. Anna was such a good cook, right? I loved when she and I would banter, you remember? Stuff like this. I was able to get by in the beginning by saying it was difficult for me to talk about her, that I was not ready. They let me be for a while, but ever since I started dating Laura, I couldn't use the "I'm not ready" excuse. Her friends, sister and mom, get annoyed if I don't sound enthusiastic or depressed, learn that it's easier to look depressed. Also, if I talk about Anna in any way that isn't portraying her as an angel that came down to earth to bless us with her presence, I get side-eyed. Thankfully, Thomas and her father are great guys and don't push me too hard on this. Her dad is always thankful that I attend their family gatherings, as we like to talk about our field of work. He always says he considers me a son. Her mom and sister, though, they get pissy if I try to dodge the topic of Aina. And the sister even said it out loud once that it's obvious that I didn't love Aina. She apologized after, but I mean, she isn't wrong. By the end, I didn't, and sure as hell don't now. Look, I'm over what happened. I don't feel hate for Anna anymore. I sometimes catch myself wishing she was alive just so I didn't have to pretend anymore, but also because her death was a tragedy. A lot of people loved her. Her friends organize a reunion for her birthday, and those are incredibly hard. And even though I know her AP will be there, I go because I know how much she meant to those people. But this is all starting to get to me because it's affecting Laura. I can't say I love her in front of these people. I can't even hug her, and Aina's sister gets all moody. Her best friend stopped speaking to Laura. They were also friends. Anna's mom even came to us at Thomas's birthday party last week and asked us to stop dancing to respect her grief. She also contacted my mom and Laura's parents to say that she was incredibly disappointed that I proposed to Laura so soon, saying that we are moving too fast. It's been 4 years. Even if she wasn't a cheater, more than enough time has passed. I'm just over it, and I'm seriously considering telling all of them what happened, just to get the weight off my back. Would I be the jerk if I did this? Now for a few comments. One commenter suggested, maybe preface it truthfully. I have some information about your sister that I have kept to myself out of love and respect for your family. Do you want to hear this information? It has some bearing on the unnecessary questions your mother and sister keep asking me and the guilt they try to put me through. Keep in mind that this might end the relationship with them, and possibly him. They might always take your deceased, cheating wife's side for eternity. They might flip it around to you somehow being the cheater. Grief is rough, and some people act irrationally. Another commenter said, I would actually like to see something like this done, but specifically with Aina's brother, best friend, privately and respectfully. Something like, you know how much I respect you and how much you guys mean to me, so I want to bring this to you and see what your thoughts are. Before Anna's passing, we were going through a difficult time, and there were some unflattering things about her that came to light. I don't want anything to soil her memory for family and friends, but I also am concerned about the behavior and responses that we are getting as my relationship with Laura progresses. How would you suggest I address these issues with people that are giving me and Laura a difficult time about our relationship? I could certainly tell them about what was going on with Anna, but I don't want to cause any unnecessary pain. I respect your opinion immensely. I just need to protect my relationship with Linda from unnecessary negativity and would greatly appreciate your input. Then OP can follow brother-in-law's lead. Then another commenter added, I would honestly stop caring about what her mom and sister think. Maybe tell her brother just to explain why you would be distancing yourself, and that's it. Hello again. Sorry for not replying to most of you. There were too many comments and I wasn't able to respond to many. Thank you so much for caring though. I had used Reddit for advice on a work-related issue in the past, and it was helpful. I feel like it came through again. Only updating because I received so many DMs asking for it, and I hate when I read something and it has no resolution. And as I think there is no harm in doing it, here I am. Something that I want to add, because I didn't feel it was relevant before, but seeing so many people saying so many mean things about Anna made me feel like it's relevant, just for some people to understand how I feel about her. Maybe it isn't relevant, but I feel like saying it and putting it out there. Anna loved me. She really did. She wasn't some monster that wanted me to be miserable and make me a fool. I saw the way she talked about me to other people. She loved me. She was worried I would divorce her and was talking to people about how to turn around our marriage, how to put it back on track. The issue was that she had a kink, and I absolutely had no desire to partake in it. She asked a couple of times, once early in the relationship and another time after we got married, and I refused unequivocally both times and was particularly judgmental about it. All the pictures I found were of her in those kink scenarios. So yeah, she was sexually frustrated and used those men to satisfy her kink. But she loved me. She was just very selfish, dumb, and reckless. I really believe this. And I say all of this because she was a really terrible wife. She cheated on me for years because of a kink. But she was not a terrible person. She was only a terrible partner. There is a reason so many people loved her so much. I went with my gut feeling of talking to Thomas. Seems like a lot of people came to the same conclusion, that this was the best way to deal with this. Me and Laura went to his house and we talked to him and his wife, Laura's sister. I told them that I was only bringing this up now because mine and Laura's lives are being affected by the way people perceive me as Anna's husband. People want me to be a memory of her life, when in reality, being reminded that I was married to her felt like a gut punch, and I'm at my limit. But I kept on trying because I love her family, and I know how much she meant to many people. I told them that I did not love the person she became when she died, that we were probably headed for divorce soon, even without the things I learned. The only reason I didn't share it with anyone was because I didn't see a point to tarnish her memory and change people's perception of her when it wouldn't matter to anyone, and it would only bring pain for those that loved her. Now, though, this decision is biting me in the butt because I also have to act like she was perfect. The reason I told them this way was so they could opt in to knowing more if they wanted, but if they would rather stay ignorant to the situation, they could. Thomas wanted to know everything, so I told them. He asked to see the proof, and I told him that the pictures were intimacy and graphic. It was not a good idea for him to see it. He asked his wife to see them. I showed it to her, and she confirmed to him that it was real, and they were really bad. She actually flinched looking at them. He asked if it was only one time. I told him it was with 3 different guys, and one of them went on for at least 3 years that I knew of. He was mad, cussed a lot, not at me, but at the situation. I started to regret everything at that point. He said, "Fuck, why is she so freaking stupid?" He called Anna stupid a bunch of times. He asked for some time to think stuff over and went out. I left Laura and her sister talking and also went on a drive. About an hour later, Thomas called me and asked me to come back to his house. He and Monica gave me a hug. She was crying a lot. He asked me what I wanted to do. I told him that all I want is to move on from this and be happy with Laura. He told me that he would handle his mom and sister, that I didn't need to worry about them anymore. But I should just distance myself from his family and Anna's friends for a while. He said I'm his brother, and that will never change. We all hugged it out, and that was it. My ex Esil has since reached out and told me that she knew Anna was cheating on me, but thought we were working through it. Aina told her about a year before she died and said that she would come clean and try to work on the marriage. Now, Thomas told her what happened, and she has apologized a lot. Said that she has been basically ignoring her flaws ever since she died, but it has turned unhealthy for both her and her mom. She said she will help me with anything I need regarding this topic. Ex-Fael and mother-in-law don't know anything, and we will keep it that way. I will try to make time to hang out with my father-in-law from time to time, and considering him and my new father-in-law are good friends, me and Thomas have been talking about taking them fishing, golfing, maybe just going to a bar, stuff like that, at least once a month. And as for my ex-Mil, I just keep my interactions to a minimum. So yeah, I think it worked out well. Another thing is that Laura wants to speed up our wedding planning, so hopefully we will get married in March or April before we were talking about having a long engagement. But there is no point in waiting, we both know what we want. And I'm happy, very happy. Now for a few comments. Ellie96 commented, "Your ex-Sil sounds like a piece of work. Best of luck forwards." Then OP replied, "Yeah, honestly, I don't buy much of what she said, but if she doesn't mess with my life, I will leave it be." Another commenter, Anon-Throwaway07-2023, said, "Thomas is a good dude. Please you and Laura live your best lives together." And EqualFlow3216 added, "Thomas, newly minted member of the Order of Omar. Am I the idiot for kicking out my friend's boyfriend after he tried to play daddy to my unborn child? I just really need some clarity on this situation. I, female 23, lost my husband, male 25 weeks ago, to a car accident. He was the love of my life, and I'm still not used to waking up without him every day. We had big plans for our future, and it all came crashing down in a heartbeat. We met on his uncle's farm. He was a farmhand, and it was love at first sight for me. I'm also 4 months pregnant, but I haven't told anyone. I was planning on telling my friend when I was feeling better. My best friend Lee, female 24, has been my shoulder to cry on during this time. She helped me with his funeral and anything else I needed, as I'm no contact with my bio family. Story for another time. She is currently dating Barry, male 24. They usually hang out in a trio with Liam, male 24. When I first met Liam, he hit on me hard. He tried everything, like comparing himself with my husband and saying weird things like our kids would be cuter than if I had kids with my husband. He's also made weird comments like I need a city boy and would motion to himself when I'm a country girl through and through. I typically would shut him down or ignore him, but I would always get dirty looks from Barry. Skip to Sunday night. I got a message from Lee begging me to come to dinner with her because she wanted to treat me as I had been through a lot in the last couple of weeks. Feeling not so bad about myself, I decided to go. When I arrived, she wasn't there, so I texted her asking how long she would be. She told me 5 minutes. She's just running late and is around the corner. So I sat down and ordered a drink. Now 5 minutes pass and she's still not there, so I gave her the benefit of the doubt and waited another 5. When I'm about to call her, Liam comes rushing over and gives his apologies for being late. I asked him what he's doing here because I'm waiting for Lee, and it was a 2-chair table. He smiles at me and grabs my hand. I ripped it off of him, and he just says, "Oh, I asked Lee to set us up. Now that your husband's name isn't a problem, we can finally get to know each other." He looked so cringy, and I'm telling you, I was floored. I stood up and told him that I wasn't interested, and I certainly don't give a flying frick about getting to know him, and that I just lost my husband. Without a word of a lie, this man stands up and says, "I know you're being overly emotional right now, so I'll forgive you for that. Sit down with me. I'm not saying we have to have intimacy straight away or anything." I was disgusted. I shoved past him and went home as fast as I could. When I did get home, Lee messaged me, "Sue, how was dinner?" with a smirk emoji. I called her, and when she answered, I didn't let her get a word in. I yelled at her, asked her how she has the audacity to do something like this, weeks after I just lost my husband when she's been the one to hold me together this whole time. I asked her what game she was playing, and that the only reason I wanted to meet tonight with her was to tell her I'm pregnant. I just hung up on her and texted her, "I need time and don't want to be contacted by her for the time being." Last night, Barry came to my house and asked to talk. I said no, and that if he didn't leave, I'd call the police. He told me that I broke Lee's heart and that I deeply hurt Liam, when now is an even better time to get to know Liam because he could raise my child with me. I opened my door, which Barry took as I wanted to talk. Instead, I hit him with my shoes and chased him to his car, screaming. I'm actually embarrassed I did that. All day today, I'm being flooded with messages from friends and the trio themselves, shaming me for pushing the people who care about me the most away, and that they don't even recognize the person I've become. The only thing that hurts me most is that my husband would know what to do. He would tell me how to fix it, and now I have no one who I can talk to. I'm just so numb inside. I have a therapy appointment tomorrow, but I'm thinking of calling my husband's mom even though we've barely spoken since the funeral. Any advice is appreciated. Please excuse any typos. I'm just so exhausted. Now for a few comments. If we're in your shoes said, NTA, 1,000 times. That is way too soon for any of that. Sorry, I know women and it has been years and they are still not dating, and I am sorry for your loss. You need time to grieve. Take the time you need. There is no timeline for it. Take care of yourself and your child. Ty Nervous 9815 commented, "What the holy hell? Throw that entire friend group in the garbage. No respect for your feelings. No respect for your boundaries. No respect for your loss. Not the idiot, I'm sorry for your loss." Roman 1969 added, "The real problem here is your friendship with Lee. She may have supported you during the first few weeks of your loss, but she's certainly not your friend now. She's pimping you out to any bozo who comes along, probably at her husband's insistence. If they and anyone else thinks you can get over such a profound loss with a cheap frick, then they need out of your life. The fact that they're all in on taking advantage of a grieving pregnant widow is beyond creepy. Of course you've changed. You've just lost your husband, which any normal person would be deeply affected by. Cut them out of your life. No explanation needed. Block, block, block. You and baby are all that matter now. Friends have absolutely no place in your life now. I'm deeply sorry for your loss. Not the idiot." Now for the update 1 day later. Hello all, and thank you. I just wanted to start off by saying I called my mother-in-law, Louise, after making the post. I thought that I needed to tell her about the baby because, just like some of you said, she is overjoyed about the news. She didn't answer my call, but instead drove straight over to my house. I honestly didn't know what to say to her, but we just hugged and cried all night. I didn't have the best delivery about how I am pregnant, probably due to all the crying, but she just lit up and was so happy. It's the first time I've seen her be this happy in all the time I've known her, so at least I have some support. My father-in-law came over when he finished work after mother-in-law told him he needed to come to my house, and he was too overjoyed about becoming a pop. Louise offered to have the baby and me move in, and I agreed. She said that I can sleep in my husband's old room, which was a little bittersweet. When I told her what was going on with Lee, Liam, and Barry, she was furious and told me not to worry about it because they, MIL and father-in-law, have my back. After a lot of even more crying, father-in-law told me that my husband would be so happy to have this baby grow up on a farm like my husband did. Overall, our conversations last night were something I needed. Now, I'm just going to answer some comments. 1. No, this isn't fake, and if you choose to believe that, then that's fine. But don't be dragging my husband when you don't even know him. Liam didn't unalive my husband. It was a car accident, and my husband died on impact. Nothing crazy went on. It's just awful, but as simple as that. Lee was my friend for a long time. She was genuinely there for me when I went no contact with my parents, and I thought she was a decent friend. Now, knowing the truth, there are many things I can think of that she did that are red flags. Personally, I think I ignored them because I have never been close to anyone like that other than my husband. Liam is a loser. From my chat with Barry, I learned that he's always had feelings for me and he's never given up because apparently he's my type. He isn't and never will be. Yes, I ordered a drink. I didn't think I needed to disclose that I ordered a lemonade. It was simply a soda, nothing wild. I know I'm pregnant and I'd never do anything silly. I'm not magically pregnant. My husband and I both wanted children young and were trying for about a year. We just didn't disclose that we were trying because my husband and I think it's weird telling people, "Oh, we're having intimacy an extra amount." I don't know, but my husband and I are very private people and kept a lot of it that way. As for the trio, I've blocked them. None of my family are reaching out because they simply don't know me anymore. The only friends who are reaching out are mutuals of either Lee, Barry, or one of Liam's other friends. I was confused on if I was a jerk because I just left Liam standing there and yelled at Lee. I was so upset and confused about the entire thing. But thank you all, and I will update on what happens because I know Liam will not give up until he's in jail. I seriously hope it doesn't come to that, but the fact he drove past my house twice is uneasy. So, I'm hopeful the move to my husband's parents' farm will have my baby and myself on a better path. Now for a few comments. Rana Iyer wished me and my baby all the best. Not God said that moving in with my in-laws sounds like a good step for us both. Gemethist advised to report him for stalking and obtain a restraining order. They suggested accepting my in-laws' BEV'd, help and support for now, but to be careful about it as I move forward. They also mentioned that I'm young to say never about another partner and to keep an eye on boundaries longer term, but for now, to embrace their love and support. They also advised dumping my friends. Am I the idiot for changing my will after my fiancé ignored my allergies and endangered our unborn child? My fiancé and I recently bought a house together and received basic things from his family as housewarming gifts. His grandmother gifted us a huge package of laundry detergent. Here is where the problem starts. I am highly allergic to most laundry detergents. This isn't just about some uncomfortable itchiness. It's serious. I experience vomiting, diarrhea, temporary loss of eyesight, and even loss of consciousness. I've been hospitalized for this multiple times. We use two brands that I'm not allergic to. He keeps complaining that they don't smell good. While that might be true, they're not fragrant, and I know he used to drench his clothes in fabric softener to make them smell nice. I offered to slowly start trying new laundry detergents because he keeps complaining, and those two aren't easily accessible in his home country, but definitely not in the foreseeable future, as I am 8 months pregnant and very afraid of the possible consequences. We still have more than enough of the safe ones. He agreed, and I thought the topic was done. But then his brother gifted us baby clothes, and my fiancé kept commenting on how good they smelled and how badly he wanted our clothes to smell like that. I sorted through them, and after I was halfway done, I noticed I felt off. My hands felt weird. My body felt wrong, so I washed every body part that touched those clothes and refused to touch them without gloves. My fiancé bought them for me, so he definitely knows I am still allergic to some detergents. Well, he still decided to use the gifted laundry detergent on our towels. I didn't notice until I started folding them and putting them away. My hands started to get hot and kind of numb/itchy. At first, I was afraid that I was now allergic to one of the safe ones until I noticed the gifted one was opened and kind of shoved into a corner. Our other two are also opened and readily available. I just don't get it. I texted him and asked if he used the gifted laundry detergent for anything. He said, "Yes, what's the big deal?" I told him that's not funny, and he is potentially playing with the life of our unborn son and mine. I asked why he thought that now, of all times, was the right time to test my allergy again. He called me a drama queen and ignored me after. So I changed my will. My fiancé gets nothing now, neither my part of the house nor my other assets. Everything goes to my son, with my family as trustees until he is of age. If something were to happen to both my son and me, my cousins will be the sole inheritors. My fiancé was originally meant to be the trustee, with different guidelines, to make my son's life, and his, pretty comfortable. I trashed the old will, sent the new version to my lawyer to make him look over it, and planned to get it to a notary as soon as possible. Now for a few comments. Someone asked if I'm sure I want to marry this person. I replied that honestly, I'm not quite sure at the moment. He changed completely after I got pregnant. He used to take safe sheets and blankets to friends so I could sleep there without worrying. Now for the update. A lot has happened. I had a rather uneventful conversation with him after he returned home. He justified his usage of the laundry detergent with the presence of cleaning towels in between the normal towels. I asked him how that matters, and apparently, it's because I wasn't going to dry myself with those. I wasn't satisfied with that answer and asked about the normal towels, as there were only 2 for cleaning and over 10 normal ones. I asked how the smell of cleaning towels is even relevant because, like he said, they are for cleaning. He didn't answer and started ignoring me. That was answer enough for me, though. I knew it was nonsense, but I had kind of hoped for a better excuse. I was kind of withdrawn from him at this point and decided to watch his behavior towards me to figure out what was going on. I thought that I might get an answer somehow, somewhere, because he was my best friend, and I just didn't want to believe that I mattered that little to him. The next incident happened soon after. I was carrying back a rather heavy drawer. As the drawer was so heavy, I struggled a lot, but he was busy working on some shelf. I asked him if he could help me, but he didn't react. So I asked him where I should put the drawer, as he was sitting in front of the shelf where it belongs. He told me to just put it on the floor, so I did. What I didn't see in time was my Karcher. I put the drawer on the vacuum tube. Nothing broke, and even if it's mine, he wasn't using it at the time, or anything. It was just laying in the middle of the room. He lost his temper. He asked me if I can't even use my one brain cell and other stuff, implying I am dumb. That hurt more than I would like to admit. I started silently crying and went to the living room. He followed me quite some time later, got upset with me because I was still sad, and said it was just a joke. I told him I didn't find it funny and it hurt me. I asked if he could just apologize, please. Spoiler, he did not. He just said it was a joke, and we haven't had an argument before, so he didn't say it out of spite, but in a joking manner. I wish I could say it stopped there, but I fell and had mild cramps and a bloody knee. I called him on the phone because I don't have any friends in this country yet, and he was the only one available. I knew his boss would let him go, as he is a very kind man, and he was supposed to end his workday 30 minutes from then anyway. That's what he had told me, at least. I called him. He didn't pick up. I texted him. He didn't read my messages. He came home an hour late from work. He wasn't at work. He was visiting a friend whom he gave the laundry detergent to. He helped me, but even a stranger would have been kinder and told me to just lay down, as I am too dumb to walk, endangering our son's life. I just wanted to take a nap and lay down on the couch, as it's way closer than the bedroom. He started to vacuum the house. I did it yesterday and mopped the floor, so there wasn't a lot. But he spent over 40 minutes vacuuming right next to me, walking in circles, cleaning the same spots over and over, mumbling how I didn't clean today and how I am such a messy person. Yes, I do like to leave my shirt occasionally on a chair, but I've cleaned every day since I've been on maternity leave, and before that too. I would be comfortable with visitors at any given hour. After he finished vacuuming, he asked me about some mop parts his grandmother put in our house weeks ago. He asked me what I am doing with them. I still don't understand what he meant by that. I told him his grandmother put them next to the vacuum cleaner. So much for, I never clean and can't do anything right. If he would have ever decided to vacuum in the last weeks, he would have noticed them. But he decided to vacuum while I was doing badly and just needed a nap. He just doesn't like me anymore. I am heartbroken to say that, but he truly doesn't. At least our cat and dog have picked up on that. Our cat keeps his distance from him now, doesn't want to be pet, and bites, scratches him when he tries to cuddle with him. My beloved dog keeps himself between me and him, follows me around, and tries to avoid him. While he still wags his tail when he comes home, it's just not the same. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't recognize him anymore. The animals can feel his anger too. He looks at me with such contempt and is very mean towards me. I thought he would be my forever, but he won't be. He is punching our walls. He is hiding his phone. I am sad and tired. I don't even have the energy to go through his phone, because even if there would be answers to his behavior, I just don't care anymore. I am just sad. I gave him the engagement ring back. He didn't seem to care. My car's battery doesn't work at the moment, so I will have to figure that out. As some of you guessed, I am indeed from Germany, while he is from a neighboring country. I am 7 hours from my family and about 3 hours from the border by car, so I don't have to fly, luckily. I am sleeping in the guest room on a couch for the time being. My ex-fiancé seems very content with that. Now he is just on his phone constantly and leaves me be for the most part. Thank you for all your input, kind words, and messages. For the people who claim this is fake, believe me, I wish it was. Now for the update. Hello, it's me again. I got a lot of private messages asking for an update. I was wondering why so many people were suddenly interested and concerned until I stumbled upon my post in Best Redder Updates. I am fine, taking the circumstances into consideration. There were a few more verbal explosions from him, a lot of stress and crying, until I landed in the hospital and got an emergency C-section. But my son is safe and rather well now, so am I. I wasn't sure whom to contact, as my family thinks you can work out anything except physical abuse. So I contacted old friends from school and university. They came in clutch and were really helpful, even though I had ignored them for so long. Some people were afraid that my car's battery got messed with. I can confidently say that it didn't. I just wasn't driving it for a very long time, and the winter is harsh there. We were able to jumpstart my car though. Custody, child support, and everything else will be a hassle to figure out, but I remain positive, especially because he doesn't seem that interested and said, "Guess I really don't like children, even when they are my own," and calling him annoying for crying, etc. So I don't think he will fight me hard on that. My son and I are safe and back home, surrounded by love. I don't plan to keep him from his father, and I never will, but like I said, his father isn't really interested. I don't think he was ready to be a father. Maybe he will be someday, but considering his age, I don't think so. And yes, he is hanging out with a woman I wasn't supposed to worry about, but I know for a fact that she wants children and was complaining about that to him, so who knows what's going on between them. I will never leave my home country for anyone ever again. Thank you again for your concern. This will probably be my last update.